baseball man that I talk to a lot this time of year, whose phrase is always, the owners are always watching the owners. In other words, when all of a sudden, let's say the Browns fire a two-time NFL Coach of the Year in Kevin Stefanski, the Falcons fire a coach who ended on a four-game winning streak in year two in Raheem Morris. Then John Harbaugh gets fired by the Ravens. There are owners who suddenly start to rethink their position and go, wait, they fired those guys and we're keeping this guy? That is a real phenomenon within the league, and that's where sometimes you see these ripple effect firings that don't take place on the proverbial Black Monday. We've had a Black Tuesday, we've had a Black Thursday this week, and there oftentimes is one more that comes next week. I don't think that it's any secret who potentially those teams could be, or at minimum what has been speculated about in league circles. You start with Pittsburgh. I have no reason to believe at this point, based on my understanding of how Mike Tomlin has proceeded about his business in recent weeks, the type of conversations that happen internally, the way that he's focused on this team, I have no reason to believe the rampant rumors that I get 5 calls about a day that Mike Tomlin is going to walk away and take a year off. He could do that. Mike Tomlin would have a TV job in about 5 seconds. But does Mike Tomlin actually want to do that? I don't get that sense from people who are around Mike Tomlin on a daily basis. Could he go to Art Rooney and say, you know what, I want to go someplace else? I could certainly see Mike Tomlin being appealing to, let's say, a Miami Dolphins that have now made a change. But is any situation going to be better than the one that Mike Tomlin has in Pittsburgh, where he's got authority over really everything? He's got the ultimate job security. I don't envision a scenario where Art Rooney is moving on from a guy who's never had a losing season and is in the playoffs for the 13th time in 19 years, albeit without a playoff win over the past nearly a decade here. So for Mike Tomlin, he's going to make that call, or he'll make none. And he'll say, Aaron Rodgers quite possibly wants to come back. We really made strides down the stretch. We're finally playing the style we want to. Maybe I'll give this another run in 2026. We'll see how that plays out. But we won't know that unless and until the Steelers are out, which they don't play until Monday night against the Texans.
And that's the entire game. It's not just about wins and losses anymore. It's about perception, pressure, and sudden opportunity. When a model franchise like the Baltimore Ravens decides that 18 years of stability, a Super Bowl win, and 12 playoff appearances with John Harbaugh isn't good enough, it sends a shockwave. It forces every other owner to look at their own situation with a new, more critical eye. If they can fire Harbaugh, why are we keeping our guy? This single thought is why 3 of the most stable coaching situations in the league, Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, Sean McDermott in Buffalo, and Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, are now part of the conversation. Let's break down why each one is suddenly in a unique kind of danger. First, Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The report is clear. He is almost certainly not getting fired. The Steelers haven't fired a head coach since 1968. That's not how they operate. But this is about something more nuanced. Is Mike Tomlin's incredible run in Pittsburgh coming to a natural, mutual end? He has never had a losing season. He has ultimate authority and job security. But he also has no playoff wins since 2016. The report mentions he gets 5 calls a day from TV networks. He could walk into a top-tier broadcasting role tomorrow. The decision may now be in his hands. Does he want to start another rebuild, or does he see a graceful exit to a lucrative media career while his legacy is intact? For the first time, Tomlin controlling his own destiny might mean choosing to leave. Next, Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills. McDermott is the living embodiment of the owners watching owners effect. His resume is outstanding, one of the fastest coaches to 100 wins, consistent playoff appearances. But the glaring flaw is the lack of a Super Bowl with a generational talent like Josh Allen. Before this week, that could be framed as, we're close. Now, after Harbaugh, the calculus changes for owner Terry Pegula. If Buffalo loses this weekend, especially in an ugly or undisciplined way, the pressure to ask, is a different voice the final piece we need, will be immense. McDermott's past success might no longer be a shield, but the very reason the standard is now championship or bust. Finally, Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. This situation is different. It's a financial and contractual puzzle. LaFleur's contract has 1 year left. He's a top-5 play caller who just developed a new quarterback into a playoff team. The Packers want him back. The problem is the exploded market price for a proven successful head coach. If first-time coaches are getting $12–13 million a year, what is LaFleur, with his winning percentage and playoff pedigree, worth? $15 million? More? The report suggests the Packers, a publicly owned team, may not want to pay that premium. This could lead to a standoff not about performance, but pure economics. They could lose a great coach because they were unwilling to meet a market price that another team absolutely will. So what's the bottom line? The NFL's standard for job security has been violently reset in 1 week. It's no longer just about being good or even great for a long time. It's about whether an owner believes you are the singular person to win a championship right now. And if a credible upgrade becomes available, like a John Harbaugh, that belief can shatter overnight. The fallout from Black Thursday might just be beginning, and its next victims could be some of the biggest names in coaching. What do you think? Which of these 3 coaches is in the most real danger? Is this "what have you done for me lately" pressure good for the league, or does it destroy the stability that builds dynasties? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more unfiltered breakdowns of the NFL's biggest stories, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.